Hello friends, Joe here at Reverb. Today we're learning 7th chord arpeggios. This is part 2 of a lesson. We did part 1, you can check out right here, and that part 1 is just on major and minor arpeggios. So in part 1 of this lesson, we learned how to build a chord and where a chord structure comes from the scale. We learned that you take the 1, 3, and 5 from the scale, and that forms your chord. Now we're dealing with 7 chords. We have 1, 3, and 5, and we're adding a 7th. We're adding a 4th note. It's amazing how much more color we're going to be able to expose with adding another note to these chords. Today we're going to talk about 3 different kinds of 7 chords: major 7, minor 7, and dominant 7. So let's briefly take a look at the general spelling of these chords. Major 7. We look at the major scale and we take the root, the 3, the 5, and the 7. For example, in the key of C, that's going to be C, E, G, and B. To determine the structure of a minor 7 chord, we do the same thing with the minor scale. So we take the 1, 3, 5, and 7 from the minor scale. In the key of C minor, that's going to be C, E flat, G, and B flat. Now, dominant 7. This one's a little trickier, but once you got it, you got it. You take 1, 3, and 5 from the major scale, and then you take the flatted 7th that you get from the minor scale. So the general spelling is 1, major 3, 5, and flat 7. In the key of C, that's going to be C, E, G, and B flat. Off the bat, interesting to just note what is changing about these chords. In all 3 of those chords, the root and the 5th stay the same. So the 3rds and the 7ths are 2 variable factors here. Those are the notes that are changing to determine the difference in quality from chord to chord. Let's play through G major 7 arpeggios. We're going to go from the root, the 3rd, the 5th, and the 7th. Once again, I'm going to kind of blow through these shapes. Check out the interactive tab page right here for a closer look at the fingerings. G major 7 from the 3rd. G major 7 from the 5th. And G major 7 from the 7th degree. Okay, cool. Let's keep it moving along. G minor 7 from every degree. From the 3rd. G minor 7 from the 5th. And G minor 7 from the 7th. Okay, great. Let's move on to dominant 7. Again, we have here 1, 3, 5, and flat 7. G dominant 7 from the root. G dominant from the 3rd. G dominant 7 from the 5th. And finally, G dominant from the 7th. There you have it. Okay, let's take a look at some musical examples of these arpeggios. I'm going to play an E dominant arpeggio 1 octave. Did you hear something there? What if I played that first note twice? There it is. Pretty Woman, an iconic riff, is just a dominant arpeggio, 1 octave. We have E, G sharp, B, and D. the spelling of an E dominant 7 chord. Awesome. Okay, let's take a look at a couple others. Chet Atkins' Mr. Sandman opening riff uses a major 7 chord arpeggio and a minor 7 chord arpeggio back to back. A major 7, 1, 3, 5, 7. He goes off the arpeggio a little bit coming back down, but then finishes with the arpeggio again. So visualize that stair-step shape there. And then play your A major 7 arpeggio from the root. That second octave, the upper structure of that arpeggio, is just like the fingering in the interactive tab. Then he goes up and plays a B minor 7 arpeggio. And then resolves it. 1, flat 3, 5, flat 7. He plays A major 7 and then B minor 7. Simple. If you drill these shapes that I've given you in every key with every different quality of chord, you have the ability to, no matter what range you are on your fretboard, to express any color of chord. And those are the uses of 7 chord arpeggio theory in a nutshell. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you learned a little bit more about 7 chord structure and the arpeggios that follow along with them. We'll see you next time. Keep checking back for more lessons.